Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in and sharing this moment with me. We are so appreciative of your support of ODC Ministries, and I want to just encourage you to follow us on every platform possible. We have our Facebook page. Please go and like our Facebook page. Also, our YouTube channel, ODC TV. Please go and subscribe so that you can be the first to find out about new content that we add to our YouTube page. Also, follow our podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Music Play, Castbox, Anchor, any major podcast platform. You can go and subscribe so that you again will get the notification of when a new episode is produced. And lastly, go check out our website at www.pastorodc.com so that you can see the entirety of what our vision is and what we offer here at ODC Ministries. So again, thank you for sharing this time with me, and I want to just really motivate you. I believe in you. I want you to win. I want you to be successful. I believe that we should rejoice when others rejoice. We should celebrate when others celebrate. That is biblical. That is what we should do as believers. And we should hope for and root for the best for all of our brothers and sisters and even our enemies. So I want to talk to you a little bit today about what I want to share that hopefully can help you be successful, help you win, help you achieve your goals and your aspirations. From a child, we are taught that we can be anything. Parents encourage their children with this all the time. You can be whatever you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do. We admonish them that you ought to dream big and think big and reach for the stars and go and get it. And this is what we should do. It shouldn't just be any abstract thought for us as believers or just cliche or things that are just passed down as folklore. No, this is what we should say to our children and to one another because we are Christians. I mean, think about it. We are made in the image of God. I don't think we really understand how powerful that is. That in Genesis chapter 1, God said, let us make man in our own image after our own likeness. That's a powerful paradigm. And once you grasp it, it can really shift your entire perspective. Which means that we have God-like characteristics. We possess divine characteristics within us. We have our intellect, our reason, our logic, our skills, our gifts, our abilities, our compassion, our empathy. All of this is a consequence of being made in the image of God and after God's likeness. That there's something divine in each of us. And even though we're broken and we're fallen and we're sinners, saved by the grace of God as a result of the fall, that image was somewhat tainted. The truth is, it still remains. Not in its totality, but even in its brokenness, we still are image bearers of God. Therefore, it will be ludicrous, crazy, asinine for you to think small or to think less of yourself. It will be just sad for us to settle for mediocrity. To do so is an insult to the bigness of God. If you're made in the image of a big God, then certainly you should dream for big things. You should think big. You should think big about yourself. Not in a conceited sense, but definitely to know that I'm not any less than anybody. There's nothing that I cannot do because I'm a child of God who carries the image of God. We recognize our true identity and mature in our nature. It opens our eyes to our vast potential. It enlarges our capacity to conceive our purpose. It expands our vision to see beyond the obstacles that may have even been systematically placed in our way to deter us from our destiny. I'm made in the image of a big God, and therefore I'm destined to do big things. You're made in the image of a big God, and you're destined to do big things. But big things don't just happen because we're made in the image of a big God. This is what we have failed to teach to ourselves and to others, generations and younger people today. We love to tell us that we can do anything, but just because you say it does not mean that it will come to pass. Does not mean that it will manifest. Yes, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and yes, you are pregnant with potential and possibility, and you are immensely gifted. But big things won't just come to pass unless you put forth some effort. You have to work, ladies and gentlemen. No one is going to just give it to you. And even though sometimes we teach this passive theology in our churches, you cannot reach up and grab it. And you cannot turn around and get it. You have to be able to conceptualize it. You have to be able to believe it. You have to be able to believe in yourself and recognize who you are as a child of God, made in the image of God, but you still must put forth some effort. You must work. James said it this way in James chapter 2, verse 17. Faith alone without works is dead. That is not just enough to believe. You actually have to put some effort into your faith. I've come to the conclusion that there are two categories of people in the world. There are those who watch and those who work. Which one are you? Are you a watcher or a worker? Because the fact of the matter is, you are one of those two. There are people who just get up every day and just casually go through watching TV, watching social media, watching what other people are doing, talking about what other people are doing, just going through their entire existence being captivated by what someone else is doing, and they just watch. And those same people who watch are sitting there wishing that something good happens to them, wishing that some door opens, wishing that some breakthrough comes their way. The fact of the matter is, all their days are spent just watching, strolling and watching, commenting and watching, liking and watching. And people understand that there are so many people who are watchers. This is why you have news networks that literally play the same thing over and over and over and over again, because they know that there are people who have the tendency to just sit there on their couch and watch it over and over again. They don't even have to conceptualize any new ideas. They put the same movie on, sometimes back to back, multiple times in 1 week, because they know that we will sit there and watch it over and over again. And they're making money through their work, while you and I are simply watching. Watching, just passing the day. But they're also workers. There are people who get up every day saying, I'm going to make it happen. There are people who get up every day saying, this is my day to take advantage of the opportunities that are before me. Or this is the day for me to put myself in a position so that when those opportunities come, I can simply walk through those doors of opportunity. There are people who work on themselves every day. How can I be a better person? How can I be better today than I were yesterday? There are people who work every single day. And these are the people who don't just think big, but actually achieve big. These are the people who don't just believe in their dreams, but recognize that dreams don't work unless you do. These are people who realize that I have to put forth some effort. No one is going to give it to me. No one is going to feel sorry for me. No one is going to just pass it on to me. No, I have to work. And so I don't have time to watch what you are doing. I don't have time to watch what's on television. I don't have time to watch your posts on Instagram. I have to work. Jesus said, I be about the work of the one who sent me while it is day, because night is coming when no man can work. Which one are you? Are you a watcher or a worker? But if you want to make your dreams come to pass, There are three things that work involves. First, it involves strategizing. If you want to be a good worker, you got to come up with a strategy. It can't just be that you're just simply hoping and wishing, but you are strategically thinking through where you are going and how I'm going to get there. A lot of people call it this, ladies and gentlemen, short-term, mid-term, long-term goals. This is simply strategy. If you are going to work and get to the ends that you desire, you must strategize. What am I going to do to put myself in a position to move from here to there? And then what am I going to do to get from there to here? You have to come up with a strategy. What do I need to do to invest in myself? What do I need to read? What do I need to study? What conference do I need to attend? What class or what seminar do I need to register for in order to put myself in that strategic position to be able to accomplish my dreams? That is work. Thinking through, strategizing. But not only is work strategizing, but work is sacrifice. I talk to people all the time who are working. And many times they're talking about, I'm tired. I have to do this, this, and that. And I can't do this and this anymore. Because work will require that you sacrifice something. Now, you got to be careful what you sacrifice. You can't sacrifice your children. You can't sacrifice your family. But you may have to sacrifice some of those girls' night. You may have to sacrifice some of it hanging with the fellows. You may have to sacrifice watching the games. You may have to just settle for looking at the highlights that night because you got to work. You have to sacrifice maybe going to the movies. You have to sacrifice that trip because you have to work. Work entails sacrifice. Work entails that I got to do that extra effort. I may have to get up early, may have to stay up late, but I got to be willing to sacrifice. Workers will sacrifice. But then workers also have a steadfastness about them. You know, there are a lot of people who are working. They spend their entire lives working. This job, that job, this idea job. It's called a jack of all trades, but they really never master anything because they're not steadfast at anything that they do. It's just simply, I'm trying to make it. But those who are really working recognize that no, I'm not just trying to make it, I'm trying to make it happen. Therefore, I must stay on that grind until I'm able to materialize, able to actualize what I have conceptualized. Steadfastness. Working. Many people, when you look at their success stories, they had a lot of setbacks, but they kept working at that same thing. Steadfastness. Work means that I don't abandon my dream. I don't abandon my vision. I don't abandon my business. I don't abandon the thing that I have laid my eyes on in my imagination simply because I had a minor setback, simply because something didn't work out the way I thought it would, simply because it didn't produce the revenue that I thought it would at the beginning, or at the beginning of my business, I spent the first couple of years in the hole because I'm trying to start up the business. And so you can't just give up. You can't just say, oh no, I'm going to put this on the shelf. I'm going to set this aside because I'm looking for that momentary satisfaction. No, you got to be willing to stick to it. Keep working at it. And some people will look at you and say, you need to stop. Like, why you put so much effort into this? I mean, you look back over history, you'll see a lot of people who achieve great things had someone tell them in the course of them working steadfastly, you need to stop. It's not working. You're wasting your time. No one's paying any attention. But because they were good workers, steadfast, resolved, had the intestinal fortitude to keep on pushing forward. So which one are you? Are you a watcher? Or are you a worker? Are you passing the day away? Or are you making each day that pass count? I hope that you will be a worker because God has put so much potential inside of you. Whatever it is in your imagination, whatever it is that you see, whatever it is that you can visualize and conceptualize, it is yours. because you serve a big God and you ought to think big and you ought to strive for big things. But you got to be willing to put in the work. God will bless your work. God will bless your work. But God is not going to bless you if you just watch Him. So, there are watchers and there are workers. I appreciate you taking time out now and watching me. But guess what? I got to go now because I got work to do. I hope that you will go and do your work as well. I'll let you later.